I'm just on my way out of Oxford, walking along the Thames path alongside the River Thames, also called the Isis around here. Two rivers in Oxford, the Thames and the Cherwell. I've just tried to pay a visit to, well, I say a visit, I was walking past Christ Church College and thought I'd just have a quick look at the quadrangle, and was confronted by what I can only call, having read an article in the Independent yesterday, by a representative of the great British hegemony of the frigging Jobsworth. You know, just walking up to the quadrangle to have a look, and there's this voice, "Excuse me, you can't go in there." I thought, I don't want to go in here, I'm just, sorry, if you want to visit, you've got to use the next gate. Yeah, I don't want to visit, I just want to have a little, sorry, you can't do that, this is a private gate. Anyway, what can you do? What can you say? I just want to have a look, take a little mental snapshot, have a look at the quadrangle, turn around and walk on. Sorry sir, it's a private gate, you can't go in there. There are times when even a gentle soul like me really wants to resort to a good old right hook. Given the size of his rather bulbous real ale drinking nose, I kind of thought that maybe he could do without a fist landing on it. Ah, the Jobsworth, the great British Jobsworth. Yeah, it's true. There was a great piece in the Independent that was talking about the island of Samos. Someone had visited and saying that, you know, one of the reasons why Brits like to go to a place like that is because they escape regimentation, regulation, blanket uniformity, and yes, the hegemony of the Jobsworth. So I think that's probably why I have quite an affinity with Greece. The Greeks, God love them. You see, they did all their thinking in the early stages. You know, the fathers of modern Western civilization, and they did so much thinking between them. Well, Socrates and Plato, Sophocles, others like that. They thought so long and so hard during that period, though I think they exhausted themselves, and they haven't thought since. Oh, you know, nothing more complicated than the ingredients to a Greek salad. A choriatiki, a few bits of feta and a bowl of olives. Yep, so they exhausted themselves and decided, thinking, I'm going to get run over by bicycles. Just let them all go past. So, talking about getting run over, you see, that is actually quite a Greek experience, because the Greeks, you know, they have little regard for anyone really when it comes to driving on the roads. If you catch someone on a one-way street, you say, "Excuse me, this is a one-way street." They say, "I'm only going one way." You know, as far as they're concerned, it's a case of mind over matter. They don't mind, and you don't matter. So they exhausted themselves with their thinking, and they haven't really bothered since. And in some ways, it's quite a refreshing change, actually. You know, you know, nothing's a problem until it's a problem. If there's a big crack in your building after an earthquake, they just shrug their shoulders and say, "What can we do?" Well, when it collapses into a pile of rubble, crushing several people to death, they go, sorry, carry on. Which was my experience on the island of Rhodos when there was an earthquake, and I arrived back at the church where I was staying to find a huge gathering of people, TV crews from Athens filming the tower, which was directly above where I was sleeping. So yeah, it was an interesting experience. Oh, the Greeks, the Greeks, the Greeks. It's like that chap on the island of Kalymnos. There's a thing at Easter time where they love to celebrate by lighting blocks of dynamite and throwing them around. And this chap bought a sack load of dynamite by the harbour in Kalymnos, and he took out a block and lit it, and nothing seemed to happen. So he threw it back in the sack. A few moments later, the loudest explosion ever to be heard from the shores of Kalymnos resounded, and where there was a port, there was just a crater, and several people lost their lives. Tragedy, but Greek tragedy. But you can't help but smile. You can't help but smile at the stupidity. Oh, I don't know where all this came from anyway. It's all somehow connected to my encounter with Mr. Bowler-hatted Jobsworth at the entrance to Christ Church College. On we go.